healthy and strong. He's listening to me.
I hope so.
He is. God, you're a good soul. God bless you.
God bless you.
Gerry, how did we meet first?
Putting together an unfortunate Paddy's Day gig in what was that club?
Copacabana.
In New York on Fifth Avenue. So that was the 90s. That was the late 90s.
Yeah, and then the last time we met was at that T-Rex memorial thing. I think he was dead for 30 years or something like that.
Yeah, in City Winery right here.
Yeah, and
yeah.
you were playing with Suzanne Vega. And that's when I said to you, would you like to work with, I'd like to work with you, you know, could you? And left it at that.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, that, you know, we'd love to do a record sometime, which, you know, as an idea was great. I knew there was no, you know, we didn't have a plan or anything like that, but definitely the door was open to work.
Yeah, it was just an idea. But when I went home with the idea, I thought to myself, yeah, well, how do you pay for that? Like, how do you know, I'm used to doing albums where by myself, so if you want to bring Gerry in, you know, you have to do it properly, you know, you can't just expect him to...
Catering.
Yeah.
You know,
so,
trailers.
And then, then I went home, and then it was a while later, you know, when Dick Kinnett said to me, you know, come have a beat with me, and Dick is an old friend of mine, you know, this label, and Story Sound, and said, proposed that I could make an album for him. And then I thought of you, because like immediately it all came together. It's like, oh, I can't make an album with Gerry unless I have a bloody budget, you know, and then it's, you know, and I want to, and you were busy, you know, I mean,
that's the thing, I mean, like, so that was right in the new year of the pandemic, right? We made it through December and we were all kind of kicking around seeing what we could do. Yeah. And in a normal situation, I would have been on the road.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have tracked you down probably.
I remember you called me and said, which at first I was like, really? Because I mean, it's so precious to get a budget for a record or get somebody that can believe in you enough to say, okay, let's do a project and an album.
I've been labeled a singer-songwriter, right? And I don't actually want to be one. I've never wanted to be one. I just wanted to be...
Stop doing it.
Once you are alone, or once you are a solo artist, you know, you become a singer-songwriter now. I've always been more from the school of motoring, like the David Bowie school of motoring, whereas you sound like a band, but you're still a solo artist.
Yeah.
With this album, then, I finally got really the idea that I've been living with for a very long time, because I've been making these albums alone, bringing people in, doing my utmost to make it sound like a band.
Yeah.
And in the end, I don't think it really sounds like a band ever on any of the records I've made. It still sounds like a guy with a band. But this record that we've made, I think it really sounds like a band. And I'm really excited about that.
Like my dad walking up that hill to the hospital.
From the get-go, you talked about a band. I come from bands.
With his heart full of joie de vivre.
I had to learn how to be a session guy or whatever when I came to New York. When you mentioned, you know, putting together something that might sound like a band, or certainly the references we were calling on, like Velvet Underground or Television, or Talking Heads from the New York or Patti Smith band or whatever. I mean, they definitely, all of those groups had that individual thing that bands have, and it's a cast of characters, and it makes that particular sound. When you were thinking.
One of the reasons it really sounds like a band is because you have a major part in it, and you're a guitar player. Whereas when I did the other albums, there was no other person who had, no other musician who had a major role in the record, you know. That's part of it. And then you pick the rhythm section, which are just tremendous rhythm sections.
Tony Shannon came and played bass for us, right?
Yeah. Patti Smith's bass player.
Yeah, plays with Patti Smith. Has been there since the beginning.
He's our musical director too.
Yeah, and plays with all of those guys. So you know, Tom Verlaine from television and stuff. So suddenly the circles are so much closer.
Yeah.
And then you know, Yuval Lyon, who got on drums, plays with David Byrne. You know, which is a direct line to the like CBGB's kind of school where a lot of those bands come from. Then when you put all those pieces together, you start to get that sound of the city.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah. And it's a tougher sound or something. Or realistic sound. There's something just real, something very real about it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's tough, but not in a kind of like, not necessarily in a violent way. It's just, it's hard wearing, you know.
Yeah,
it's kind of
because
like
this is, yeah.
It's very used and you know, even when you get into the cab here, you're like, you need to speak the language, which is normally barking at the poor chap, telling him what the street number is. But you know, you want that. If you go in there and you're super nice, they're like confused. They don't know what to do. So you just say, you know, you shout out your destination. And that's kind of the way you need to play music as well. Yeah. In the cities, you need to shout out your destination. It's kind of like, here we are. This is what we're doing, right? You get it? You like it? You don't like it? Okay, we're going to do the next.
Yeah, clarity is important because there's so much time. We're in a hurry here.
When we get to letter F, we'll do the
Times two.
Times two.
His announcement.
Yeah, so put like a crash chord on those, you know. Yeah. So I'm playing up to that.
We'd always talked about putting some strings on the record.
Yeah, it was strings.
Yeah.
String nuts.
And we got to a point where the record was you know, nearly done. And then your label manager, Dick,
I played a couple of tracks to Dick, and Dick said that strings would sound great on these two tracks because, fortunately, Dick said that because Dick was the one who's going to be paying for the strings.
Now it's past, we're all a mite relieved.
And he knew David Mansfield, who was a bit of a legend actually. I didn't really know the name David Mansfield.
Yeah.
But I just came back from Ireland, and when I mentioned his name to one of my friends, he was astonished that I said David Mansfield was on did the strings.
Like my dad walking up that hill to the hospital, with his heart full of joie de vivre.
A great guy, and worked with us. You know, on two great arrangements, and then he records himself, so he recorded himself multiply and kind of gave us a whole section, which made it possible for us, you know. It's really, it's a testament to his skill.
I assume the world will do a normal turn, and everything will be where it should be.
And he's like David Mansfield played with Bob Dylan on the Rolling Thunder review when he was 17 years of age. So
QED.
He's
top of the pot.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, we're in the middle of rehearsal. This is not what it's going to sound like really. This is just the two of us working on pre-production stuff. Is that right, Gerry?
That's right.
Listen to that chorus again.
I was listening to the record, and I have to say, you have given me a lot of space on this record. You've given the guitars a lot of space.
I wanted to give the guitar a lot of space. I wanted it to be a guitar album. Yeah. I think I even said, out of you know, in a haste to try and get to the point as quickly as possible, when you asked me what kind of album did I want to make, I said sort of Bowie-esque. And I said, you know, even though it's not, you know, it's like I was just trying to clarify.
Well, I mean, David's somebody who he loved the guitar. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Like he always had an amazing guitar players with him over the years. Very innovative guys, but he always put it. He put it right front and center.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
You know, and then it's like a sparring partner for him.
All the cattle are standing like statues. Oh yes, the cattle are standing like statues.
You know, you need somebody to kind of have confidence in you to be able to build that. And I've worked with artists over the years that have encouraged me.
Yeah.
David was one for sure. I mean, I remember when he came over in rehearsals and he's standing in front of the amps and I was like, oh, I was really self-conscious of playing, and he goes, sounds great, Gerry, can you turn it up? You know, and he just wanted me to turn it up. I was like, yeah.
The cattle are standing like statues. Tommy and Timmy howl with laughter.
But I was listening to some of the mixes and I was like, well, that's pretty bold. I have no problem with that. You know? But, you know, not every singer does that. You know, you went right up there on the distortometer.
Yeah. I wanted, but that's what I wanted, you know. I'm so pleased that I got it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, that we got it.
We went 9 and 10. Sometimes you don't even get to go to 3 or 4 on the distortometer. We went all the way.
Tommy and Timmy howl with laughter. Tommy will miss you forever after.